Dr. For Real. We're pleased you are here and we want to thank you for watching our videos. As you probably know by now, we donate all the money we earn from YouTube to charities doing amazing work in Cambodia. You are helping us earn this money just by watching. It's fantastic. In the description of our videos, you can see how much we've earned from YouTube and where the money is going. All you lovers of Siem Reap, you are in for a treat with today's video. It was provided to us by Charles from Cambo Life Adventures. He and his partner are from Canada and they're making videos in Cambodia right now, so you should definitely subscribe to his channel. He's got a great video of a baby elephant up in Mundulkiri province, and that's definitely worth a look. The ride today takes us from Road 30 in the north of Siem Reap, down past Sakrilan, and then onto the highway. Next we'll take a right into Sivata Boulevard all the way down to Pub Street. This ride really showcases the amazing road improvements that have been made in the last 2 years. You're going to see gutters, footpaths, or sidewalks for our US friends, a new traffic light, marked angle parking. Everything looks so clean and beautiful. Keep an eye out for the yellow rider, and around the same time, the old abandoned elephant hotel in the middle of the city is now a Zando. You won't recognise it. The last time we were in Siem Reap, it was difficult to imagine that the city could ever look this good. Alright, let's get started with the news. Today is Wednesday, the 13th of April, 2022. It's time to celebrate Khmer New Year, but not too much. Senior tourism police in Siem Reap have called for better protection of tourists during the New Year holiday. There are going to be huge crowds and security will be beefed up over the break. The tourism police are particularly concerned about robberies and they will be looking to deter theft through a high police presence. Another piece of great news that comes about because it is the Khmer New Year break is that just yesterday the Royal Railways Cambodia has resumed passenger services. Train travellers will need to show proof of vaccination and wear a mask, but those lucky enough to score a seat can ride the rails to Takeo, Kep, Kampot, Sihanoukville, Pursat and Battambang. If you want to go from Phnom Penh to Takeo, it will cost you $6. Kep is $8, Kampot $9, Praia Sihanouk $10, Pursat $7 or Battambang for $8. One worker at the train station described how busy they had been since word got out that the trains would be running again. She said, "We have been so busy that we've hardly had time for meals in the last 3 days, as so many people have been booking tickets. Customers are lined up at the station and we cannot take breaks at all." This is just the best news. We would have loved to catch a train while we were in Cambodia, but sadly it was not possible. When we return though, it will be on top of our list. I wonder if we could get a train driver to record some video. Then we could do news on the rails. That would be so much fun. For some Cambodians returning from Thailand though, things aren't going so well. Frustrations arising from the possibility of missing Khmer New Year celebrations with family and friends is said to be the main reason why 21 Cambodian migrant workers had reportedly fled from a quarantine centre in Bantay Mianche province. The centre where they were held houses about 200 migrant workers at any given time. The 21 escapees were expecting to be cleared for their return journey home to either Battambang or Siem Reap within hours after arriving at the border, but they were shocked when their Thai vaccination papers were deemed invalid by health officials stationed at the centre. As thousands of migrant workers return to the kingdom from Thailand to celebrate Khmer New Year, many are showing up with vaccination documents or cards on which the QR codes cannot be scanned. This has led to suspicions that they may be unknowingly or knowingly be getting fake documents in Thailand. These migrants, who claim to have been fully vaccinated before returning to Cambodia, have been placed in quarantine centres, something they did not expect. You've got a feel for these poor people. They thought everything was in order and have come back to Cambodia for Khmer New Year only to be held in quarantine for 14 days. Invalid vaccination is not a concern for the woman in our next story. The 118-year-old lady was due for her booster shot and the vaccination team had to search high and low to find her. They first went to Oda Mianche to look for her but could not find her there. Then a search was executed in Krache. After the team received news that she was not there, they eventually found her in Mundulkiri. The 118-year-old expressed her gratitude to the medical staff who worked so hard to find her. Next, we've got a topic that doesn't get discussed very much in the media: surrogacy. The Kingdom is working to rectify a draft law on surrogacy with more input from stakeholders relating to human trafficking issues before putting it into use. The law on surrogacy is very new for Cambodia, and time is needed to learn from neighbouring countries and to understand the reason why some countries decided to nullify the law. Secretary of State at the Interior Ministry and Vice Chairwoman of the National Committee for Counter-Trafficking said that the law was created to defend surrogate mothers who agree to bear the child for another person. She said that, to date, the child has been identified as the victim in these cases, as the child is sold from one person to another and the fate of the child is not known. This is considered human trafficking, she said. According to the NCCT, currently Cambodia is becoming a place for illegal surrogacy activity. Cambodian women who are involved in this business were sent abroad for delivering the baby, and the women were involved in human trafficking crimes. A slab of stone with ancient inscriptions has been found by a farmer tilling his land to plant cassava. National Museum experts are now examining the sandstone slab, which is believed to have been created sometime in the middle of the 10th century. It has poems written in ancient Khmer script and Sanskrit engraved on its four sides. The farmer and his wife found the 90 centimetre long, 45 centimetre wide and 11.5 centimetre thick stone while working their plantation in the Preah province. Only around 20% of the stone's inscriptions remain, but experts say that the writings mention gods and kings, and some districts in Cambodia are also mentioned. It's fascinating stuff. This week we have a couple of cars behaving badly stories. The first is mostly a pictorial story. You'll need to check the link in the pinned comment to see this one in its full glory. However, the driver of a black luxury car met his match in the form of a privet hedge on Saturday night in Phnom Penh. The personalised number plate would suggest that the owner is in fact a foreign national, and he was heading along Road 6 in an easterly direction at high speed. When he reached the scene, he lost control of his vehicle and drove through a green area of bushes, hedges and trees before coming to rest nestled in a hedge. Fortunately, the driver was not injured, only innocent plants and the vehicle were damaged. In a plot twist, though, the car owner took full responsibility by paying compensation for all damages to government property. An attempt to jumpstart a car at 3:30 on a Saturday morning has ended with 2 cars being consumed in flames. The 2 men fled the scene of the disaster, leaving shocked local residents to call the fire brigade. The fire prevention intervention force arrived at 4:20 a.m, but although they were able to extinguish the flames, the 2 men's cars were left severely damaged by smoke. On a more serious note, there have been many, often fatal traffic accidents reported in the last couple of days. 2 died after being crushed by a cement truck in Phnom Penh. 5 people were killed in a tragic accident between a van and a motorbike in Siem Reap. The driver in a Phnom Penh hit-and-run accident has fled, leaving 2 men fighting for their lives. Another hit-and-run occurred the day after, this time leaving 3 people dead. We'll wrap up today's news with a word of caution. Khmer New Year can do crazy things and make people behave without care. If you are in Cambodia, be very careful on the roads. Don't travel at night if you can avoid it, and if you're riding a moto, make sure you wear a helmet. That said, do have a wonderful Khmer New Year wherever you are. Those lucky enough to be celebrating in the kingdom, you have the envy of those of us who are elsewhere. Thank you so much for watching. As I mentioned earlier, links to all of the stories mentioned will be in the pinned comment, and there'll also be a link to Cambo Life Adventures. Thanks again for today's awesome ride around Siem Reap's new roads. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.